2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, 815.
I got a strong suspicion that kissing was a whole different experience prior to the invention of the toothbrush. My name is Greg. He's Tom. This is the INCROWD815 podcast for the, what is today? The 9th day of March, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind. Wait. What is a toothbrush? Wait, I'm supposed to know that, aren't I? Okay.
Oh, I feel bad for your wife now, my man. It's we got a big show for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So give them a little nudge and say, "Hey, Greg and Tom are on. Let's listen live this week instead of later on Spotify." But if you're listening later on Spotify, welcome. We would highly appreciate that 5-star review.
There you go.
Cincy the Bengals checking in.
That's what's sleeping next to me. Yeah, he's going back to bed.
The look on that Bengals face.
For all you out there in computer land, can't say TV land, don't ask.
Don't ask.
Don't ask.
You don't need to know.
Don't ask. It's
a couple of great guests today.
Time.
Multiple guests today. We're going to talk with NIKKI from the Pregnancy Care Center of Rockford and Dr. Sahli over at Elevated Health. They're hosting this month's INCROWD815 networking group. So details coming up right after this right here. Our current race to 10 has Tom with a lead of 1-0. Tom did win our last race to 10. Joanne, I think the 2 previous ones before that, if I remember correctly. But anyway, our next big number of the week this week. It's a big one this week. 7.6 billion. Yeah, 7.6 billion. This week's answer is pickleball or planet Earth. Pickleball or planet Earth, 7.6 billion. What is your guess? Please put it in the chat. Make up a story about the number and your guess why you think it is. That would be fun. I would love to see those in the chat today. And let me do this right here before I get too far. Let's copy the big number. Let's put it in the chat. Maybe that'll encourage a little bit of interaction today.
All right.
Maybe.
I've sent mine in.
Tom's in.
I'm in.
All
in
right.
like Flynn.
In like Flynn. Thank you very much from Tulsa. Good morning, Dan. All right. Tom's got his guests in. Our first guest today has been in Rockford for a number of years. I'm curious to find out how long she's been in Rockford because I'm not sure that she grew up here or not. So let's bring on NIKKI TIBBETTS from the Pregnancy Care Center of Rockford. Good morning to you, NIKKI.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
How is you today?
I'm great.
Now, we like to start off with guests on the show to tell us a little bit about themselves. And did you grow up in Rockford? Where'd you go to school? That kind of stuff. What's your background?
I am from the Show Me State, the great state of Missouri.
Hello, Missouri.
Yeah. Graduated from the University of Missouri. Go Mizzou. Go Tigers. So yeah,
it's just regular
Missouri girl.
But not the St. Louis Cardinals, please. Oh no. Oh no, I've stepped in it, haven't I?
It's really nice to have you here, NIKKI. Have a great rest of your weekend.
I didn't say a word. Did my face give it away?
Oh gosh.
Your silence. Yeah, that dead silence.
Gloss over that. These are not the droids that you seek. Okay.
I have lots of Cub fan friends. We make it work.
Well,
I shed a few tears when y'all won the World Series. It was emotional.
It was emotional.
All right.
I mean, that's very sad. I can't imagine how sad it is to wait that long to win a World Series. But
okay, yeah, 108 years. Yeah, I know that was kind of a dig, wasn't it? Boy, that was. She's subtle. She's good. My former co-host on the radio on the sports show we used to do, diehard Cardinal fan, on the air, he actually gave the Cubs credit, and I appreciate that so much because I have said for a long time the Cardinals are one of the top two, maybe the best organization in baseball because they win every year. They win every year because they do it the right way.
We weren't so great this last year. But
no, there's a couple of down years. My pastor, by the way, Pastor Bobby, he is a diehard Cardinal fan. And I went up to him sometime last year, middle of July, August. We were kind of talking about baseball. And I said, well, now you know what it's like to be a Cub fan. And he got a kick out of that because they were like 17 games out in July.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But anyway.
It's not fun to watch, but yeah.
No. So you grew up in Missouri and you went to Mizzou and you must have met some guy from the Rockford area or something. What brought you to the Forest City here?
Well, actually, I did. I met my husband at the university, and we'll be celebrating 25 years of Wedded Blitz this November.
Nice.
And, yeah. So really our entire married lives, we have served in vocational church ministry. And so 10 years ago, my husband, Heath, we moved here to pastor a church in the local Rockford area. And my background is I have a lot of experience with youth ministry and education. And then about 2.5 years ago, I came on staff here at the Pregnancy Care Center as their director of education. And that's our preventative education arm of our programming, where we go in and out of public and private middle schools with our program called Positive Choices. We love talking to students and teaching them how the choices you make today affect the future that you want tomorrow. And then in June, I transitioned to this role as executive director of the Pregnancy Care Center.
That is a very worthwhile endeavor to teach young people that the choices they make today and tomorrow and next week are going to affect them next month, next year, and when they're adults. Oh my goodness.
I wish I had positive choices when I was in 8th grade.
The light bulbs that you must see pop over kids' heads by teaching these things, because we all need those reminders. Even as adults, we need those reminders that, hey, it's one thing to go. Gosh, what's a good analogy? It's one thing to go and eat fast food once or twice a week. If you live on it, it's probably not the best thing for your body.
Right.
My dad told me, when I was in my 20s, he says, be careful what you do. What you eat in your 20s will show up in your 40s. And my response was, whatever. My dad, my best friend, my absolute best friend, lost him about 6 years ago, almost 7 now. And we got along so well. He was so great. He lived with us for 12 years. So I completely trusted and respected my dad, but I didn't really understand what he was saying. It never clicked. I'm like, Dad, come on now. Look at this, I'm in great shape. I was in really good shape. I was an athlete. I was a basketball player, a baseball player, football, whatever. And I had no idea. And then of course in my 40s, whoa, why am I slowing down? Why have I put on 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. So
we don't understand how smart our parents are until we become adults ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Well, the Pregnancy Care Center in Rockford has been around now for, 3 decades.
Well, we started in 1983. So last year we celebrated 40 years of offering help and hope to those facing unplanned pregnancies in our community. So we're in our 41st year. And, and not being a Rockford native, it surprises me when I'm out in the community and I tell people who I am, what I do, why we do what we do. And they look at me and they're like, I had no idea that we had this resource in our community. Yeah. So we still have a lot of work to do just to raise awareness of the services that we offer.
Yeah. And let's go right to that. What services does the Pregnancy Care Center offer? Why do you exist? Because I think there's probably a notion, maybe I don't know how prevalent it is, but there's probably a notion of some people who knew you existed recently that thought the Pregnancy Care Center existed to be a part of the movement to abolish this thing called Roe v. Wade. And now it's abolished. So why are you still around? Right. And that's kind of when you go, okay, you really don't know the real purpose of the pregnancy care center. So why don't you give us a little overview of that?
Yeah, that's a great. I love how you worded that, Greg. Thanks so much. Well, we exist. Our mission is states we exist to offer help and hope to those facing an unplanned pregnancy. And one thing that there's a multitude of things that we do, but we do offer free pregnancy test, free ultrasound, so women can come in and find out if their pregnancy is viable and how far along they are. We also provide limited STI testing. We also do what's called options education. You know, because of my background in education, I am passionate about educating and empowering people with the knowledge that they need to make good, sound, well, positive choices, to go back to our mentoring program we have with students. And then if a woman or a couple wants to parent, then we have a wonderful mentoring program we call the Countdown to Parenthood program. They can earn baby supplies. So by the time they go through the program, they have accumulated the basic necessities that they need to prepare them to bring that baby home from the hospital. We also offer parenting classes, not just for the people who participate in Countdown to Parenthood, but to our entire community. One thing I'm very excited and passionate about is that we, in recent years, we have started and developed a fatherhood mentoring program so we can empower dads as well. So there's, situations where couples are in committed relationships, but there's also situations where they're trying to navigate and figure out co-parenting. And so we have a lot of programs and resources for that. And I love that we can provide an environment so women can come here and to make a true, authentic choice in a place that will not profit from the decision that they make. We love unconditionally, no matter what choice they make. We have women who come here for our abortion pill reversal services. We also have women who come here for post-abortion care that we offer. So whether you choose to parent or you make a different choice, you are safe in this place and you are loved and you are cared for.
I just think it's so ironic that you use the word choice. And the funny thing is, I learned this many, many years ago. We are actually the ones offering the choice. We're giving you the options. We're giving you information for both sides, and then you get to decide. We do it with love. We do it with care. We do it with information, which is the key.
I also feel like this is a great opportunity for me to say that the opinion or conviction or stance that I have, that doesn't come into play when we are mentoring and when we are counseling. We are sharing medically accurate information with women so they can have the knowledge and the empowerment that they need in order to make an informed choice. And we love them no matter their choice.
Absolutely. And that's a really important point too, because they come in already expecting to hear that, pro-choice is bad, pro-life is good.
We really don't in this place, we really don't even, we might talk about that around the break room table, but that more political verbiage, we're not talking about things like that in the ultrasound room or in the mentoring room.
Right. Exactly. What I'm saying is that's what they think they're going to get when they come in. And so it's refreshing to find out we're just giving you facts. We're just giving you facts. There's so much misinformation out there, and it's really, really difficult. I know from my own experience of talking with women, post-abortive women, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know you didn't know that, because that's the problem. It's such a lack of information.
It's such a needed resource too. I don't tell my story probably often enough, and I don't know if you even know this, Nikki, but my oldest was very, very nearly aborted, and as a high school senior, when my girlfriend got pregnant, I was like, what am I gonna do? And what are our options? And of course, the options at the time that seemed to be either you're keeping this child, or you're aborting it. Maybe adoption, maybe. And I thought that's the direction we might go. And if it was not for a father, my dad, with a moral compass to say, hey, you know what? You don't want to abort this baby. Is inconvenient as this seems to your life right now. You do not want this on your conscience, and you don't want to do this. And we didn't have a PCC clinic center in where I grew up in southeastern Wisconsin that I knew of anyway at the time.
Yeah.
And I thank God every day for my dad's encouragement to say, no, you don't want to go this direction. If anything, give this child up for adoption if that's what you think is the right thing to do. But please don't abort this child. And thank God here she is here this weekend with her husband and her 3 kids, and it makes my life so much brighter knowing because she's in it. You know?
Oh, I've seen lots of pictures of your daughter and grandchildren. So that's powerful. Thank you for sharing.
It's a beautiful thing. And you've got a big celebration and Celebrate Life Banquet coming up here just over a month away. People can still sign up and be a part of.
Yeah. Yes. So invitations are rolling out. It may be in people's mailboxes this weekend, if not early next week. And we are so excited. Our theme is Stories of Abundance. That's one thing we really focus on here at the PCC, the Pregnancy Care Center, is we don't want women to just think about choosing life, like saving that life, but we also want them to think about the abundance of life that is offered to them if they're open to learning more about having a personal relationship with Jesus. And we're very respectful in the way we navigate those conversations as well. We're very passionate on what we call permission-based care. But anyway, when I talk about stories of abundance, when an abundant God writes your story, and one way we see God's abundance is that over and over, we sell out the entire banquet room at Embassy Suites. And this year we are having a brunch at 11 a.m. and a dinner at 6 p.m. And we're so excited
to your
about
situation. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah. So it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be just a time of celebrating just the ways that we've seen the Lord work and do mighty things here at the Pregnancy Care Center. So we're excited.
So 2 opportunities, April 25th. If you want to do the brunch thing at 11, tickets are $35 each. If you can do the dinner at 6, tickets are $55 each. And information there on your screen. I'm going to copy the web address and put that in the chat right now. So that's right there. And if people want to get involved, but maybe can or can't attend the event, are there other volunteer type opportunities at the Pregnancy Care Center that people can plug into?
Yes, we are actually currently taking applications if someone is interested in being what we call a client advocate, someone who would mentor moms and dads through our Countdown to Parenthood program. We are also looking for a new volunteer nurse. There's some training. So if you've got some time in your life that you'd like to volunteer in that way. Also, fatherhood mentors. We're always taking applications for that opportunity as well. And positive choices. If you have a passion for students and would love to go 1 or 2 class periods per week during the school year, we have a curriculum. You'll be trained. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities. So you can go to our Friends of the PCC.org website and find out about our volunteer opportunities.
Okay. All right. And if you would just like to donate money, you can't maybe get involved volunteer wise to the PCC right now. Up in the corner of the screen, you might notice there's a little QR code that'll go directly to the donation page at the Pregnancy Care Center website. And every dollar counts. Can you, here's a curveball. I don't know if you can hit this one or not. Can you tell us what it costs to do something like an ultrasound or something that you guys provide as a service that just says, hey, here's kind of where your money goes?
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So just this week, I was looking at some resources so we can, share those with people. But a lot in the pregnancy resource world, our best estimate is about $60 per ultrasound. Here at the center, about $75 a month to put someone through our Countdown to Parenthood program. Another thing that is wonderful that we do for our community is that we have what's called an emergency pack program. And in 2023, 875 emergency packs left just flew out of our doors,
Mm.
and that is full of diapers and wipes and other things if they need them, such as formula, baby food, baby hygiene type items. And when you figure out like how much, if a bag is packed full, we're looking at $60 to $80, but depending on how much is the supplies that are needed at that time. And so I love to tell people that, you know, a $60 pays for an ultrasound, $75 pays for a month of someone going through our Countdown to Parenthood program, and maybe $40 to $75, depending on how much is in an emergency pack. You can know that that money is helping to pay for a family who just might need a little bit extra to get them through the end of the week or the end of the month. And we just love, that's another story of abundance of our friends at the PCC, how they come through time and time again when we need those supplies to meet the needs of families in our community.
That's awesome to hear how far even a simple $100 gift can go.
Absolutely.
And every little bit helps. You know, we always say you change the world when you help one person. So if you can be a blessing to some one person, you're changing not just that one person, but their sphere of influence.
Right.
People that are around them, whether it's the young man or young woman who's going through this pregnancy situation with their partner or whatnot, and then their immediate family, their immediate friends, they see that, oh my gosh, this little help, this little hand up, it just the stress relief that's involved in that.
Yeah.
Into somebody's life.
Right. And I love how you said this hand up, because one thing that we are just rolling out, and we've made a change to our emergency pack program, is that we have something that we use called Bright Course. And we jokingly call it the Netflix of parenting videos here at the PCC. And one thing that we're doing is that if you request an emergency pack, we are going to we're going to text you one of these really helpful videos. And it's about education and empowerment. And we're really excited about rolling this out. Actually, we're launching it today. We have a in-service training here in about an hour, and we're going to be talking over all of those things with our staff and our volunteers. It's about empowering people and just helping them be the best parents that they can be. And they're just reminding them that they are not alone. There is a community out there who genuinely loves and cares for them.
That's awesome.
Nikki, I have a question, more of a comment, kind of both. Post-abortive women, I don't know if they understand the need for it. A lot of them just put it out of their head, and 10, 15 years later, they wonder why things are happening in their life. What kind of services? And by the way, I know you never turn anybody away, and that's the beauty of it all. When someone comes in and says, I had an abortion 5 years ago, I need help, what kind of services can they expect at the
we have it's a one-on-one mentoring program that they can walk through. And we actually have post-abortive women here at our center who are willing to walk alongside them. And there are a couple programs they can choose from. They can choose a faith-based program. And if they're not comfortable with that, we also have a program that is not faith-based. And so they get to choose. They give us permission and they make the choice of what program they want to go through. But they have another post-abortive woman who's just down the road a little farther than they are, who's willing to walk alongside them to really dig in and deal with those emotions that for a lot of women have been buried. But Tom, one thing that recent research is showing us is that women not dealing with the emotions of abortion, 10, 15 years out, that's becoming less common because of the medical chemical abortion, where the women are having abortions in the privacy of their own homes, and how deeply traumatic that experience has been for many, many women. So women are actually reaching out fairly quickly and wanting some support and someone just to talk to in a safe and private place to process going through something like that with very little medical care, or really in most cases, no medical care, and very much alone in the privacy of their own home.
There's something.
Yeah. Sometimes being alone with your thoughts, if they're not good thoughts, can be the worst thing in the world.
And I mean, a lot of, you can only imagine, a lot of these instances are, they never even told their partner. They're completely alone. They never told anybody.
Right.
And they're dealing with that all on their own. So the services that are free and available, and thank God abundant here in Rockford at the Pregnancy Care Center, are pretty awesome. Is there anything that we didn't ask you about today that you want to make sure we talk about before we let you go?
No, I just love this opportunity to be able to share just briefly who we are and why we do what we do. And and also just to stress that we are a place that is just offering help and hope to those facing an unplanned pregnancy. And we love unconditionally, no matter what choice a woman makes. We're a safe place where a woman can come and just take a breath before they make a decision about their pregnancy.
Nice. Good way to put it. Good way to put it. All right. Well, again, up in the corner of the screen, there's a QR code you can use to go directly to the website and donate if you'd like to do that. And then check out the other links there too to find out if you can be a part of the big celebration of life event on at Embassy Suites April 25th for brunch or for dinner. 2 opportunities on the 25th to be a part of that. All right. Well, if you're okay with hanging around with us for a few more minutes, we're going to bring on our next guests, and in transition, we're going to have us a little bit of a Tom's Trivia contest, and I bet Dr. Sahli and Elizabeth are going to be all over this because their team was one of the trophy winners at the NAMI event we were just at last week. Look at that.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
Let me see that mug. What is that? Well, it's backwards, but that thing looks really big. Yeah, it is. Okay, hold on one second.
For the guy who wants to have 3 cups of coffee right away in the morning, Dr. Sahli has the mug. It's all ready to go. So, yeah, congratulations to Team Sahli. What did you guys come in 3rd, right, for the trivia night? There was probably 15 or 16 or 17 teams there at the NAMI event. So
it was packed.
It was good.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
Not as big as this one.
That's the one I need.
Big mugs that
I like big mugs, and I cannot lie.
Tom,
there you
terrible.
Go. This is as big as my head. It's like that guy that sells the hamburgers. Big as your head.
We'll go.
All right.
We'll go this way.
All right. I'm so sorry about that.
All right. Let's bring on a little bit of Tom's triple trivia here. 3 questions. We'll see if we all get stumped.
As if you didn't get enough of me on Thursday a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago. All right. Here we go. Yeah, you guys will do fine. These are not difficult questions. One just has to do with the theory of relativity and whatever. No, I'm kidding. All right, here we go. Zodiac, first one. In the Chinese New Year, in this year of 2024, what is it in the Chinese Zodiac system? The year of the, I'll give you choices if you think you need them.
Gosh. It's not.
Once again, this is the year
because that was just a year or 2 ago. So it's some other animal like a wombat or a goose or something like that.
Well. Now, Greg, you'll get your chance. You just
hang
on there, Kimosabi. I know. Okay, I'm going to give you choices. It's either the monkey or the dragon. Monkey or the dragon.
What's your guess, guests?
I'm going to go with dragon.
Okay.
Go monkey.
Any other guesses? There's only one left. Well, dragon is the answer.
Oh, congratulations.
It is the year of the dragon.
Do you have a trophy for me?
We got 2 more.
Well, the trophy. I see you've been paying attention. There you go. But you got to win. You got to win overall. You're already on You're already on the road here. Already on the way. All right, question number 2. After the breakup of the Beatles in 1970, who was the first Beatle, former Beatle, I guess, to appear on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine? You got a 1 in 4 choice.
I got an opinion of who it should be, but I don't know who it is.
All right. So once again, after the breakup of the Beatles in 1970, who was the first former Beatle to appear on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine?
Cool answer would be John Lennon.
I'm pretty sure.
Anybody else? And by the way, when I say anybody else, I'm just asking for more. It doesn't mean that was right or that was wrong, but I'll just tell you it was correct.
All right,
John Lennon. So now it's 1-1. Tiebreaker. Here we go. What was the very first year for Fox's American Idol? The very first year, and I'll give you options if you need them.
Yeah.
2000, 2001, 2002.
I know it wasn't 2002. It was before 2002.
It was. You know that, huh?
It was 2000 or 2001. I know that.
I guess it would have helped if I'd watched it.
I know that because of WQFL radio, we did Voice War competitions, which was a spinoff of American Idol in 2002 and in 2003.
Yes, I
Voice
remember
War. I was
those.
looking so forward to doing
I
Voice
do.
War 04, but I couldn't. I never got a chance to do that one.
I'm going to go with 2000. Final answer.
Anybody else?
Yeah, no.
Final answer. Wow, you got every game show covered here. I love that. All right, it is 2001.
I would have got it wrong.
2001.
I would have guessed.
So we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to split the trophy today because I think it was 1-1. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know who said what or who got what, but anyway, everybody gets a trophy. And I have a ninth place ribbon somewhere. I don't know.
Well, Nikki, you have a great rest of your day. Your training today. I hope it's all a wonderful success and big successful wishes for your April 25th event at the Embassy Suites.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a
right,
great
see you,
day.
Nikki.
Good to see you, Nikki.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
There
for
goes
coming
Nikki
on.
Tibbetts, Executive Director of the Pregnancy Care Center of Rockford. Again, the link is in the chat there to check out their event page and their website. Dr. Sahli, how you doing this morning besides already, throwing down some trivia? We got a weird delay on here, but at least we can hear you and see you, so that's okay. Before we get into your event coming up, tell us a little bit about Elevated Health Essentials and what it is that you actually do, Dr. Sahli.
Question all the time, and I never know really how to. Essentially, Elevated Health Essentials on whole person healthcare, right? It's, I can tell you on our logo, it says Christian, right? And it's
I need you to speak up because I'm not hearing you at all. The something is either blocking your microphone, or I barely hear you. I don't know what's going on with your.
Let's try that. Is that better?
There you go. Perfect. Better. Much better.
I was trying to use too
there
much
we
technology.
There you go. Take out the earbuds. Okay, now we can hear you. Go for it.
All right. So what I was saying was, if you look on our logo, it Health Essentials, brain, body, nutrition. The reason why we went that route, body's going to break down in only one of three ways, and it's either going to be function, and the form being essentially, right? So spinal health, joint health, all types of injuries, whether it be shoulder, knee, ankle, wrist. The other day, I'm kind of the head, shoulders, knees, and toes doctor, right? Because when we launched this clinic, we had a vision that it was going to be, right? And the best part about it is we do it all naturally. A chiropractor, I don't prescribe any medications, but we can use natural herbal supplements to kind of in terms of brain function. I think that's where we because that is a well, let's just say it's going to be a lifelong rabbit hole right? The brain is so powerful and comprehensive, controls every other part of our body, right? So even when we start talking about immune system health, deep influences in how it processes information and acts of your immune system. And so when we opened the clinic in 2018, it was really just out of what a service gap in the Rockford region.
I think it would be a natural question to ask after having the pregnancy care center on is, can you service those who are pregnant? Are women who are pregnant in any stage of their pregnancy, can they get chiropractic care and the type of care that you offer?
So as it went, when I started chiropractic school, Elizabeth and I moved 1 month old. And while we were there, we wound up having 2 more children. And so I just nabbed every pediatric class that I could take and every prenatal class that I could take. She got the benefit because she got to go to class with me and get for each of the subsequent pregnancies. So just as a natural outshoot of, hey, now I essentially started to specialize in pediatrics, what they call the ISPCA, which is designation, but in all the classes, it's kind of one of the lenses that I see. And
Gotcha.
What's really cool is on the nutritional side of things, been able to help a couple of women with hormone testing and supplementations.
So you can absolutely help those who are in that situation. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've been a patient of yours, and we've been at your office a couple different times. You got a lot of space down there at Elevated Health Essentials. You're able to do a lot of different things. Obviously, we're hyping up the fact that in the end of the month here, we're going to have INCROWD networking group at your place again, which is really, really cool. And the people that I've talked to this last month, especially, who have told that we're in crowd back to your office again, they're so excited to hear you talk, because the presentations you've given on brain health and just overall, it's not just about spinal alignment and chiropractic. There's so much more that you do that it pretty much every time someone hears you talk about it, they're like, really, you do that too? I bet you hear that a lot too. A little like, wow, I thought I was gonna come in here for an alignment here, and all of a sudden you're pointing out some ways to better my health in other areas that I really wasn't even expecting.
Essentially, we've kind of had to change how we do our patient intake. Well, for you, for example, right? You come in for but if I don't check all the boxes and make sure that I'm looking at every other aspect, miss something. And then the other thing too is it's not even necessarily about what you're coming in today or this week, but really, how am I going to help you live the highest quality of life for the longest amount possible? We are truly looking to try and help people live that 100 year where they can enjoy their last years because they've done nutritionally and brain wise and chiropractically to be able to live their best life.
And a lot of times it's a simple minor dietary change. Even it's not even something major for a lot of people.
Well, it's super small. Like it could be zinc deficiency, right? You could be taking a medication that leaches zinc. You could be taking another medication that leaches B12. One of the things we see very often is patients suffer from GERD or acid reflux or heartburn, and they go to their proton pump inhibitors like Prilosec or things like of that nature. And what people don't realize is with the long-term use, prevent you from being able to produce your own B12, and when you can end up with neuropathies and even dementia.
So you're going to want to come to the INCROWD and ask Dr. Sahli some questions, or even better yet, schedule a one-on-one and meet with him in person so you can get really down deep into your personal personal medical history that you might not necessarily want an entire room full of people to hear about.
Right.
Come and take part in that. The INCROWD, by the way, we've been talking about INCROWD Networking Group for years on this show, even back when we were on the radio. The INCROWD815 networking group is an absolutely free group to attend. There's no membership, no fees. Come as you are and stay for a few minutes or stay for the full 2 hours. Sometimes we go longer than 2 hours. But this month we are at Dr. Sahli's place there, Elevated Health Essentials, right there on East State Street, which just east of Perryville in the Century 21 Plaza building. And the basement offices that are in the Century 21 Plaza building are way bigger than you'd think. there's a lot of space down there. There's a couple offices and then this huge conference room that we get to use thanks to Dr. Sahli and the building there. So can you give us a little teaser as to what we can expect at the Elevated Health Essentials INCROWD networking gathering on March 28th?
So we're still trying to iron out all the rest of the details. We were gonna try and take small groups of people through and do like an office. The challenge with that though is if I can set up some of my room, then we can have people actually experience some of this. We've got a large 55-inch touchscreen TV that sensory integrator for all the nerds out there. But essentially what it does is you can test your attention task switching, or what we call cognitive flexibility. That's the one where everybody loves to think that they can multitask, but you start having it at the same time and they break down really quickly, right? Eye movements machine called the right eye, where we can actually measure. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to really set up a few different stations in the conference, kind of give everybody a little bit of experience with that. And then I'm going to do a presentation for probably about 10 minutes or so. And then just because everybody always has questions.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm so looking forward to this. Again, it's absolutely free to attend, 5:30 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. If you can't get there at 5:30, that's okay. Come at 6. If you can't get there at 6, come at 6:30. Chances are we're going to be there till after 7:30 too. But the main meat of the things that happen at an in-crowd networking group gathering on a normal basis like this is basically the first hour, 5:30 to 6:30, is just kind of mix and mingle and meet new people. And like Dr. Sahli said, if he's got these stations set up, you'll have some things to do and talk about and try. And then during the 6:30 to 7-ish area, the host kind of tells us about who they are and what they do. And bring a business card, bring a smile, be ready to meet some new folks, and maybe get a chance also to promote what it is that you do for your business. If you are an entrepreneur, or business owner, business manager, that sort of thing, we're totally open to meeting with you at events like this. And we've got stuff planned all the way through October, and then a fundraiser event the first week of December. We skipped November for Thanksgiving. We just had Valentine's. That's why it's on the brain. We skip for Thanksgiving week because the last Thursday of the month is typically Thanksgiving Day, or could be. So we skipped that in November, but 11 events all year long, and maybe the occasional curveball, baseball reference. We might. I'm wearing the old Rockford Cubbies hat, but we had the Rockford Rivets presenting at Linked Lunch this last week, yesterday, and they've got some dates that we might just take advantage of as the in crowd, as in a little offshoot for this summer. We're going to talk about that and maybe do some other activities besides last Thursday of the month this year. But looking forward to seeing your place, and I'm really looking forward to these stations that you're going to set up and test our abilities, cognitive and otherwise. Is there anything else that you guys like to add before we let you go on this beautiful, bright, sunny Saturday morning?
No, I mean, I guess if people already start having questions, a way for them to start asking them in the in-crowd Facebook page. But by all, and maybe that will gear some of the time.
Let me put. I can find
just
your.
As a side note, I think when we
Okay,
hosted, we probably didn't leave until like 10:30 or 11 o'clock. It was a long one.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, so let's put the actual Facebook page for you guys in the chat here too. We've got the event link and your actual Facebook page, so people can get all your contact information. 7210 East State Street in Rockford. That is the location, and it's the last Thursday of this month, which is March 28th. Starting at 5:30. Maybe it'll be done at 7:30. Maybe it'll be 10:30. We don't know. The formal stuff will be done by 7:30.
Maybe it'll be Friday afternoon. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
all of a sudden, this thing just turned into something this has happened before. This is not new ground as far as some events just go way longer than anticipated. It all depends on the situation. Who's there? Who comes and chats with us all? So, all right, guys. Well, looking forward to seeing you at your place March 28th, and thanks for jumping on today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Have a good one.
You got it. There goes Dr. Chris and Elizabeth Sahli, Elevated Health Essentials, and we now turn things over to the Paws Humane Society, where Joanne has been patiently sitting by, vicariously doing trivia with us. Were you getting the questions all right? Should we have brought you on the screen for trivia earlier?
No.
She's like, I'll do the trivia with Tom next, and we'll see how that goes there. But how are things
now? Dragon 2001. I don't know the third question.
That was the third question. The second one was former Beatle. Which former Beatle?
John Lennon.
Yeah, John Lennon.
I only got one right today, so I don't get no trophy. Yeah, so here we are. It's the 9th day of March as we record this today. So We're about a third of the way through the month. How's the adoptions coming along at pause?
I think they're about even. The
About
dogs and the cats are even,
Oh,
but
wow.
we don't have many dogs left to adopt, so we have plenty of cats to raise up the score.
Awesome. Okay. Has there been any report on the fur ball? Was there other than
Our
a general
board
consensus
just-
of being
I-
successful?
I could read you the whole blah 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 blah, but I won't. We
No,
did
no.
do as good as last year. We had less people attended,
Okay.
so the numbers were down. But I felt it
Okay.
was a really successful event.
Well, year over year numbers are important, especially in the long haul of doing events like this, because you want to know if it's still worth doing the event every year. And I got a feeling it's still worth doing every year. It might need a tweak for next year if you want to get the numbers back up again, right?
Advertising. I don't know. I felt it was, as far as the crowd went, I felt it was a very manageable crowd. I think if I looked at the numbers, I thought it was like 50 less maybe. So it
Mhm.
wasn't like 100 less.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't a major hit to the numbers, but it was less than last year. All right, so we got to focus. We got a pet to focus on this week, or anything that you want to
I'm sorry, I
highlight?
not right this minute.
Okay. All right.
I can try.
Well, but you'll get it to me after the show.
Of course.
Of course. All right. Well, do we want to, let's see. I do have I want to make sure I get a couple of shout outs here today before we wrap up the show. I don't have very many though. I want to thank Nate Jordan, who's involved in small business stuff here in the Rockford area. Nate Jordan came and presented to our Growing Together Through Networking group this last Wednesday morning, and he was very informative. There's a lot of resources for small businesses in town that cost little to nothing, that if you're starting a small business, it would make sense to take advantage of. So reach out to the Rockford Area Chamber of Commerce and ask about small business services. Nate Jordan is someone you probably want to connect with if you are recently started or planning to start a small business in the Rockford area. I mentioned earlier the Rivets, their president, Steve Malliott, and their director of community affairs and the director of promotions at the Rivets, Hannah, presented at our linked lunch yesterday. Did a wonderful job. They've got a lot going on at Rivet Stadium this summer. And the first 6 games, they're doing a big push with the reading program that we talked about on last week's show. So if your kid's involved or doing any kind of reading program at their school and it's not affiliated yet with the Rivets, ask why. Get affiliated with the Rivets, because you can get free tickets. They're giving away free tickets to those first 6 games. The SBDC, yes, thank you, Dr. Chris, Small Business Development Center. That's who Nate Jordan is with, and he was really great to hear from. And then finally, this is your last chance today, I believe, to there goes Joanne. This is your last chance today, I believe, to audition for Starlight Theater for this upcoming season. If there's any openings, they do take walk-ins, but making appointments is preferred. But they do take walk-ins, and I think they're doing auditions through like 8 o'clock tonight, 7:45, 8 o'clock tonight. So if you were thinking about being a part of Starlight Theater this season, Joanne, this is your chance. You go audition and be a part of a show. You want to be in Guys and Dolls, right?
Sure.
Did your battery die? What happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I lost the whole video, so I thought I would re up. I don't know.
All right. I'm glad you did.
I lost the
Okay.
video, so I could still hear you talking, but I couldn't see you. And that makes me sad. So
Okay. Well, before we get to our big number of the week, Tom, you got trivia for just me and Joanne, or should we move along?
You know, I was
I have.
mention,
Okay.
you know, you had people on, and my daughter went through fertility, IVF, is that the right? I never remember what it is. IV.
Yeah.
In
And
vitro fertilization.
unfortunately, in Rockford, there isn't a lot for women who cannot conceive. So that's the doctor that my daughter went to had an injury, and he had a clinic, and he had a fall and hurt his hand, and Laura was one of his last patients. So that's a need that infertile couples in Rockford need. I don't know.
Yeah. I wasn't aware of that. So if someone is having trouble conceiving and they need to see a specialist, apparently they got to go somewhere other than in Rockford.
Probably. And Laura went into the Chicago area, and that's where her doctor has retired, or not, is no longer working. So it's very sad for the people who.
I mean, I'm totally guessing, but I would think now, because of the affiliation with UW Health and stuff like that, I would think through the hospital in Madison and stuff like that, there would be services there. Now, I don't know. I'm totally guessing.
It's a sadness that people don't always understand, but
right.
This month the sadness will be over because we're having a baby. My daughter's having a baby.
Hey. Awesome.
So
all right, Tom, let's wrap this up with some trivia and our big number of the week. What do you say?
All right, sounds good. Here we go. By
the way, man. I don't know how we've been doing in the past. This is
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's ever changing. It's fluid.
It's ever changing.
All right, here we go.
Per week.
Yeah. Question number 1. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer, what was the name of the town where Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Giles lived and fought vampires? Once again,
aren't all shows set in Springfield?
Yeah, just about. In Buffy the Vampire
Slayer, that was a different show.
Yeah, what was the name of the town where Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Giles all lived?
I have never watched.
I'm sticking with my guess for Springfield, Joanne. So you can, I don't know, throw a town name out there.
Thunder Falls.
Thunder Falls. No, those are good names, but no, it's Sunnydale.
Sunnydale.
I figured maybe somebody had watched the show. The only reason I knew it is because I'd heard it. I've never seen the show in my life, but I've heard it. In the trivia realm, you hear things. So, all right. Here's question number 2. Who won the Men's World Cup in 2022, just 2 years ago? Who is the reigning champion in the Men's World Cup soccer, FIFA? What country?
It's either Argentina or Brazil. I'm going with Argentina.
Don't cry for me, Argentina, because we just won. Yep. It is Argentina. And then finally, in keeping with the theme, we always have at least one Rockford question. The word Sinisippi. We're all familiar with Sinisippi. But do we know what the Indian word Sinisippi stands for?
Sinisippi.
And I will give you a slight little hint. It's kind of a misnomer, but it has to do with the Rock River.
Dr. Sahli, you're hilarious. Bumpy roads. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. But maybe it's right. I don't know. Maybe it's right.
What happened last time is the whole screen left. That's weird. Bumpy. When someone types something in, my computer goes crazy.
That was we got private messaging on the screen for those who are not seeing that on the screen. It's not in the chat. It's just private messaging between guests. So that's why they're not seeing it. Oh yeah.
All right. So
yeah, I know.
I know. It's not a bad guess.
What's that? Greg?
Bumpy roads or bumpy trails?
Yeah, neither of the two. It has to do with the river because at the time, in the middle 1800s, that river was clear flowing.
Oh,
Clear flowing. That is how it got its name.
clear flowing,
That's how
Sinisippi.
It meant clear flowing. That's how Sinisippi got its name.
So what's the Indian word for muddy, dirty river? Because that might be a better name now.
Watch your step.
Watch your step. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, then it goes.
All right. So before we get to our big number of the week, just a reminder, 1 week from today, Nick's Wish, Nicholas Ridgel Foundation,
And
has a big
today,
event.
for anyone who wants to go, it's Sock Monkey Madness.
Sock Monkey Madness is going on. That's this weekend, right? That's right now.
Just today.
Today it's at Midway Village Museum Center. It's always a good time. And always a good time, too. Our big number. And this week's Race to 10 current score has Joanne trailing Tom by a score of 1-0. Don't cry for Joanne. She's won plenty of times before. But,
Yeah.
Tom
It's
won
like
the
5-2.
Mississippi, you flow so clearly.
Big number of the week this week, 7.6 billion. And the answer is pickleball or planet Earth. Pickleball or planet Earth. Tom's given me his guess. Dan's thrown in his guess too. He says it's people rolled their pickles into a ball and lived on planet Earth. And that's funny.
Oh,
That's
he's putting it all together, right?
Yeah, putting it all together. All right, so 7.6 billion. Pickleball or planet Earth, Joanne? 3, 2, 1, go.
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth. So let me remind myself. Tom chose pickleball, so someone's gonna get a point this week. Last year, can you guess how many people played at least a little bit of pickleball?
I'm gonna say 7.6 billion.
A little bit less than played soccer, a little bit more than did some downhill skiing. It's 13.6 million people played a little bit of pickleball last year. From 2022 to 2023, pickleball officially the fastest growing sport, up 52% year over year. So the answer is planet Earth. The Earth is doomed, in case you didn't know. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything that you didn't already know. The Earth is doomed. Okay.
But I still got a point.
You still got a point. 1-1. A recent calculation showed and predicts that Earth will be swallowed up by the sun in 7.6 billion years.
What are we gonna do? Oh my God!
I'm sorry, kids.
We better start preparing.
Doesn't sound like an urgent death sentence. Don't relax just yet. Regardless of whether Earth ultimately is vaporized by as the sun heats up, or the planet becomes too hot to live on, expect in about 1 billion years, our planet will have no atmosphere, no water, and a surface temperature of hundreds of degrees. Again, that's still 1 billion years away, and about 7.6 billion years away when the gravity of the sun finally says, "You're mine, Earth." Gone. Done.
There is absolutely no way on God's green earth that they can calculate that. It's just they're numbers on paper.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. All they are is talking points.
They get a lot of stuff wrong. But
yeah.
Anywho, I think that's going to cover it for our show for today. I want to thank our guests for being a part of the show. Executive Director NIKKI TIBBETTS with the Pregnancy Care Center of Rockford. Again, their big event is coming up April 25th at Embassy Suites in Rockford. And there's 2 opportunities this year. If you were at last year's event, you know it was completely sold out. They had 2 rooms packed out. The secondary room had screens, video screens up so you could see what was going on in the main room. So they've busted it up into 2 events on the same day, a brunch at 11 for a dinner at 6. Celebrate Life annual banquet at Embassy Suites for the Pregnancy Care Center of Rockford. The link is in the chat. And then, of course, INCROWD815 networking group meets at Elevated Health Essentials at the end of this month. The last Thursday of this month falls on March 28th. They are on East State Street, 7210 East State Street, Century 21 Plaza building in Rockford. Looking forward to seeing you all there. All right, my friends. Remember this, you change the world when you help one person, so be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here next week for another Saturday morning State Line show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
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 815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815. 815.